So I've been here at Prime Inc. for 8 years, and I've seen ups and downs. I've seen freight be really good. I've seen freight really bad, and a lot of people are all like, Prime Inc. It's a starter company that you should start there and then move on as soon as you can. And for me, it wasn't that case. So I've been here 8 years. I started out no CDL, no permit, nothing. Back then, we used to get our permit once we came to Springfield. So you had to study, go take your permit test, get your permit, and then you had to go through the process to get your CDL. And I've only been at Prime Inc. I've only been here. And it's just been great. Stuff's been bad. Trust me, I've had bad checks. I've had good checks. For the most part, I'm making way more than I was working as a correctional officer for the state of Texas. I did that for 13 years. I wish I would have came out here to Prime way back when, but I didn't. And I started off, I was a solo driver. I drove pretty much, whatever time of the day I needed to drive, I drove it. Like, I was vicious. I wanted to get the next load. I also did team for about a year, and then I moved into the training, and I started training, and I started off PSD through TNT, and that was working great. Like, it was good. I just couldn't sleep on the moving truck. It was really hard. And I came off of a team truck, so you think that I would be like, yeah, I know how to sleep on a moving truck. But it's different whenever it's like your buddy, you came out here together to do this, and you're going to run team together, and you know each other, so it was way easier to sleep. I knew how he drove before he came out here. He knew how I drove before I came out here. So, and that's just a regular car, not a truck with a trailer. But you got that certain amount of trust with a person. So we came out at the same time together. We got our CDL around the same time. He got his after I got mine, just by a couple weeks, and I finished TNT before him. And it was great running a team truck together. And we were always the kind of people that were all like, man, we're never gonna like, this is not gonna mess up our friendship. And unfortunately, like, working together like that and seeing each other 24/7 every day, you start bumping heads, and like, sooner or later you're just frustrated with each other. And there was bad communication on both of our sides. I'm not saying that he was to blame. I'm not saying I was 100% to blame. There was like a bunch of miscommunication and stuff like that, and it ended up that we went separate ways. He left. I started training. So that was my second year at Prime. I started training. Well, it was actually the beginning of my second year. So I started training. I tried the TNT stuff. I was like, man, this ain't for me. So I'm going to, I started looking for other paths to go on, like different places to work. And, I'm from Texas. One of the major things was the oil field. I thought about going out there to the oil field and just like, let's do it. I got my CDL now. Let's go to the oil field. But the thing is, like, I have a lot of family in the oil field, so I know how it is. It's up and down. Whenever it's down, it is down. Like, you got to go to the next company or find something else to do till it picks back up. And I thought about it, and I was like, people always have to eat. I said, let me just start doing PSD only, see how that goes. So I started doing the PSD only, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoy it. And I've been doing that ever since. So for about 7 years now, a little bit over 7 years, I've been doing PSD only, and I've been making it work, and it's steady. For the most part, it's pretty steady income. Like, hey, I'm going to test this guy out. I'm going to make this, you kind of like know when to test somebody out to maximize your gain and stuff. It works out pretty good. It took a long time to get where I'm at, though. Like, I jumped into this blindly, and I had to figure out how to make it work for me. 8 years here, and right now I still don't see myself going anywhere else. I might think about it sometimes, look into other companies, stuff like that, make a decision, and usually my decision's always been stay here at Prime, you know. So 8 years here, I've seen the electronic logs get passed to be put in every truck out here, and that was a big deal. And Prime already had it by the time I got here. So I heard people all the time, oh man, y'all are on electronic logs. Man, I'd never be on electronic logs. And that ended up going everywhere. It was blanketed. Now guess what? We got cameras in the truck, forward and outward facing cameras. I think, to me, I kind of feel like it's the same deal. People are all like, man, I'll never work for a company that has cameras in their truck. More and more companies are moving to the camera, so I don't see that being a reason to ever leave Prime. You know, and there was a lot of talk about people saying, hey, we're gonna leave Prime because they're putting cameras in the truck. And to my knowledge, I don't think many people have left. I haven't heard of anyone that said, hey, I'm quitting Prime just because you put a camera in my truck. I've had the camera in my truck for probably almost a month now, probably, and I haven't had no problem with it. It's went off on me saying I wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and I was inside a shipper. I was going down a side dirt road to get to the back of the shipper, and I didn't put my seatbelt on to drive from the guardhouse to the back. So, you know, they never told me nothing about it, but it did record me without my seatbelt on, so I got to see a video there. And then red light, it changed yellow and red, and I was already going too fast, so I just went through it. So it changed yellow and then red as I went through it. So that's went off too. So I was like, hey, maybe I need to slow it down a little bit more before I get to the red lights. That way I know I can stop. I was fully loaded. I think my weight for my truck and trailer was like 78,000 pounds. So I wasn't max, but I was pretty close to it. As of right now, the camera has not been no issue for me or my students. You kind of just act like it's not even there, really. You're just like, it's extra thing hanging off the windshield. It's not that bad. I didn't like this Geotab as much as I liked the Qualcomm. I think that the Qualcomm actually had better functions, but the Geotab is way faster. And I'm sure once I get used to the Geotab, then I won't have any issues with it. But I kind of had problems logging into the driver eye, where you could watch your camera and see what infractions you had, or like what's your following distance, or what's your score is, how good of a driver you are, stuff like that. So, you know, I finally got it all logged in with the IT department, and it was cool because I was holding the tablet, and the guy was all like, hey, don't touch it. I'm going to go through the screens. And he started moving stuff around. You could see it moving on the screen. And I was like, wow, you can remotely control this thing like this? And then he found the problem in it. He's all like, oh, look, right here. Boom. Now log in. I logged in. Boom. I was in there. You know, so it's different. It's technology, you know, and we're moving towards technology. The whole world's moving towards technology. So, yeah, it's here, you know, and we're just going with it. You gotta be ready for changes, and you gotta accept changes and just move along with them. And that's what we're kind of doing. Now we got cameras in the truck, and we're all like, you know, it's new technology. You just gotta roll with the punches. But 8 years here at Prime, you know, I've been to picnics, I've been to Christmas parties, I've been to banquets, like I've been to a lot of gatherings and stuff that they had, and had a lot of fun here. And I'm going to continue to have fun here. Next year I'm going to go to the Million Mile dinner. They're going to give me a Million Mile award for 1 million safe miles, which is pretty cool because I've been here the amount of time it takes to get it. Some people so it works like this: 7 years or hit 1 million miles, because they said it takes an average of 7 years to hit 1 million miles. I don't know how accurate that is, because whenever I was running Team Truck, we were putting miles on there, but that's 2 people. So how are they figure it? you know, it is what it is. But 8 years being here at Prime, and I'm still here, and no plans on leaving. Like, I have no plans on, like, hey, I'm leaving Prime. Always keep my options open, and always do research on other companies and see what they're offering and stuff like that. You always got to be aware, just because you never know what the future may hold. This is kind of like people build up a nest egg. We build up nest egg, that way if something happens, we have money to fall back on. Same thing is, if my money's taken away, not only do I have my nest egg, but I have like kind of plans on, like, I'm going to try this company first, and then this one, and then this one, and whichever one, like, if I get my first pick, you know, I'm there, you know. But as of right now, Prime has treated me good. I've had, like I said, you will always have ups and downs. Like, I've had a good fleet manager, I've had a bad fleet manager, and I got a good fleet manager again. So, you know, it's just a difference of opinions. You have, just like you have good trainers out there, you have bad trainers. You have great fleet managers, you have bad fleet managers. I mean, it's just what it is. You can't make everybody, like, one person can't make everybody happy. And, you know, to me, my opinion was, it was a bad fleet manager. To other people, their opinion might have been like, man, that's the best fleet manager I ever had. Because difference of personalities, we all clash. Just like every student I get, we're not going to be best friends. Not every one of them. Some of them, I'm going to be like, hey, man, hey, next time you're in town, hit me up. We'll go out to eat or something. You know, I'll be like, hit me up. Some of them, I'm just like, well, if you ever need anything, hit me up. If you don't need anything, then cool, whatever. You know, some of them, I'm like, hey, man, next time you're in town, come see me, bro. Come see me, man. You know, you can't judge one bad fleet manager just because I feel like he's a bad fleet manager. Does not necessarily mean he was a bad fleet manager. But like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to try to get these videos coming back out faster. Like, comment, and subscribe.